Let's start. Before you get in and out of the scooter, you want to make sure your scooter's turned off. You know it's turned off when there's nothing on your battery gauge, no lights on it. Okay. You're charging it up. You have an XLR part, which is just basically a microphone plug. It's going to plug into the side right here, or you can plug in to the front side underneath on your battery box underneath there. When you charge it up, normally when I say on the battery lights, these disappear. The lights will disappear. So you got green, yellow, and red. They're going to disappear. If at the end of the day, if I have more, let's say more than one light disappear, plug it in that evening. When you plug it in, on your charger, you have two lights on the charger. One cable is just an extension cable. Same thing plugged into most desktop computers, printers. That just is going to plug into here. The other end is your microphone plug that plugs into your unit. When I have this plugged in by itself, not being plugged in the scooter, the power light red will be on red. Once I have it plugged in the scooter here, within 2 seconds, this second light needs to come on and it will be on red. When it's fully charged, you're going to see a flashing green or a solid green of the charge fault thing. That's going to let you know it's fully charged. This charger has a timer on it. It will only put out for 12 hours. So if you come back to this 12 hours later, this second light is going to be flashing continuous red. It means it timed out. Well, I don't know if my batteries are charged. Your batteries are charged. It doesn't take 12 hours to charge this up. So usually like I said, how often are you going to charge it? Depends on how often you're going to use it. Like I said, if you lose more. Now, you say, well, if I lose one light, no problem. Well, if I'm going out knowing I'm going to go somewhere the next day and I still have full charge, but I've been running around for a little bit for the last week and I haven't lost a light yet, go ahead and plug it in. This way, if you know you're going to be going all day, the next day you have a full charge.
Sure.
Okay. Even if you don't have one light on, but you've been using it, it's not going to hurt it. And let's say during the day I take it all the way down to the yellow and red. Again, not going to hurt it. If you take it down, we just don't want it sitting down. These batteries are an AGM battery, which is an absorbed glass mat battery. They don't have a memory, but they don't want to be stayed at a discharged state. They'll sulfite and they'll ruin it. So if you bring it down, bring it back up. Okay. Again, before you get in and out of it, you want to make sure it's turned off. You know it's turned off by no lights there. Also, because this is your forward, this is your reverse. Progressive. So the further you push it, the faster it goes. You want to check where your speed control right here is. Okay, this speed control, again, before you go inside into a doorway, into a building or something like that, you want to go ahead and make sure you turn this back down. Also, when you get in and out of the scooter, before you take off, check to see where that is too. Because for whatever reason, left my scooter, I came back, hop into it, I remember being turned down. All of a sudden, it got turned up and you take off when
somebody's jacking with it.
Exactly. I'll get you a second key for that. Remind me of that. But there's two keys on it. All Pride scooters use the same keys. You will notice that. I'm going to get you one of each. You have the thick key, which is what's in there right now, which is just a black case.
Yep.
The flat key is easier for a keychain, harder to grab onto. I'll get you one of those. All right, something I didn't show you before, and I will get you a cheat sheet on this. This has got self-diagnostics on it, and I usually will keep this in the back seat pocket. So, as I showed you before, this yellow lever that's underneath the seat on the right-hand side, if I push it forward, it allows you to freewheel the scooter. But notice when I turn it on, it starts beeping. Okay? And it's beeping 5 times. However many times when it starts beeping like that, it's an error code. So in this cheat sheet, it says where we have, it's beeping 5 times. It says the manual freewheel lever is in the forward position. The number one thing that causes an error code is somebody has it in the wrong position because they pushed it or whatever. But before you call me and it says, hey, my scooter isn't going and it's beeping, the first thing I'm going to do is ask you, how many times is it beeping? Well, it's beeping continuously. Those are my normal answers I give to somebody. Somebody gives me. How many times? It's beeping continuous. No, it's not. It's beeping so many times. They didn't know it. They forgot it. Whatever the reason is. why I give you a copy of this to put in the back thing. The manuals, I'll give you a place to print the manual off from Pride Mobility. You can print their manual off their computer. I'm just going to put this in your back seat pocket, but you can look that over. Just all the different, look at all the different codes. Notice on the front of the battery box, there's a little white thing right here. All right, that's a circuit breaker. So if I'm going along, driving up a hill, grass, gravel, or something like this, and all of a sudden this unit stops, conks out, and no battery gauge here, then it might be the circuit breaker, and we're just going to push in that circuit breaker.
Gotcha.
Okay? If you have battery gauge here, it's not going to be this. This is for the battery. Can't be because it disconnected the batteries from the unit, like not having the battery on. So that's what that little white clear thing is. Went over the lever, how to turn the seat. So there's a lever right here. Pull up on the lever. The seat's going to go ahead and turn. But he can turn, and it's always best to turn the seat when you get in and turn it back. So it locks every 45 degrees.
Good.
Okay, and no problem going up to a side table or something like that, sitting here like this if you need to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put that in the back seat pocket, like I said. Alrighty. Sit in here and put his hand back here and get to it.
Oh, okay.
The way he's sitting right now, it's gonna be, well, he's gonna have to look for it. But normally you can I can sit in there and flip that lever either way.
Oh, nice.
If you
Okay.
want. So if he gets in the unit and he put in free wheel, somebody else moved it, whatever the reason, however it got in free wheel, he doesn't have to get out and bend over. And it's much easier not to bend over, sit down and still reach it. Turn around and reach it wherever your seat's at.
Great.
I'm all for making things easier, and we go over the lift later on. I'll go over the same thing. Actually, since you're not strapping anything on, it's not as critical. But the ones that people have to strap stuff down, I want them to raise the lift up and then strap it instead of sitting on the ground trying to strap everything. I don't want anybody bending over. So it's kind of the same thing. Whatever you want to do on this, it's easier to sit in the scooter, turn your seat, and adjust your knob versus bending over what I'm doing right now. And while we're on that, when I adjust this tiller, this is shark teeth right here. When I adjust this tiller, I don't have to, and I tighten it back up, it might get tight right here. And it actually, the teeth mesh together. Sometimes they don't mesh together. I tighten it. That just fell on me. Got water in me.
Yeah, I took the water bottle out because it was dripping.
Was that leaking?
It was the water bottle,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm like, it just fell on me. Sometimes I tighten this up, it gets tight. It's not tight, and you just all of a sudden you see this.
Yeah.
So what I do, I wiggle this and I tighten it, because what I don't want you to do is tighten it up, go use this to push yourself off of, which people do. They they always will use this to push them off. And if that thing is not tight, I don't want this to collapse on it.
Gotcha.
So always remember to give it a little.
Once I get this in the position I want it in, I might take a little Sharpie and mark it so I know where the cross line is.
And we get a silver Sharpie. In.
Yeah, use that, or either that. I like to use, believe it or not, if you have liquid paper around, I like to use that, because you got your paintbrush and a white mark where you can actually see.
Great
a lot
idea.
of times I use liquid paper for a mark. Sometimes
Great
a mark
idea.
I like that too.
Okay. For the most part, here's the situation. When you charge this, if you feel like it, you can. Don't have to worry about it right now, but the battery box, this will never get hot charging. This will. So, what am I trying to say is that if you ever, after in the morning, you come back to your scooter and you come back and you put your hand in that battery charger, in that battery box that's hot, that's going to be a sign your batteries are gone bad. Okay, it should never. I'm not saying if it gets hot and with the right charger, they're bad. Okay, doesn't mean just because the batteries don't get hot doesn't mean the batteries are bad. But I guarantee you, if the battery box ever gets hot from charging, they are bad.
Okay.
Okay. You want to use the charger that comes with. Most of these units all use the same type of plug. Unfortunately, when you start looking at them, that charger right here in this chair, the charger looks the same, except that charger is a little bit bigger. That's a 3.5 amp hour output charger. This is a 2 amp hour charger. If I plug that in here, because it uses the same plug, I'm going to blow the circuit fuses. And there's a fuse right here.
Yep.
There's a fuse. You're going to see there's fuses right here. This yellow one right there. That yellow one is the charge circuit for here. This one right here is a charge circuit for here.
Okay.
If I plug that 3.5 amp hour charger in this scooter, it may or may not, it might blow it.
Could blow it.
It could blow it. Okay?
So we need a new charger. We're just going to come
I'm
to you.
not saying you need a new charger. I'm just
If-
saying.
if, I said.
What I'm saying is don't interchange chargers
Yeah,
from
okay.
another unit. I can use this charger on most units, but I don't want to use a bigger charger on this unit because this is a smaller charger.
And are those fuses the minis or the standards?
They're the standards.
Okay.
And I believe it's 5 or what is it?
That looks like a 10 on the color,
No,
but
it's a 5. I think
five,
it's a
okay.
5 or 7.
right.
Yeah, even though it's a 3.5 amp hour charger, and like I said, 3.5 may not blow it, but there's been times that they would do different things, especially if you use a 5 amp charger, which is even bigger. So, armrests are going to flip up. Showed you that already.
Yep.
Just got if you got your oxygen back there, you just want to watch what you turn your seat because that's sticking out backwards like so. We just want to watch that you don't hit anybody or hit something with it. So, alrighty. Questions you have for me?
I think I've rented enough of these in the last 6 months that between what you've told me and what I've learned, I think I'm in pretty good shape.
I have one I'd like to get on the video, Jeff, and that is, let's say he did run most of the day. He's getting close to being down. He's going to go plug it in. What's his recharge time to get another hour of use or something?
Well, that's going to be a really interesting thing. So you can plug these in, and I really can't answer that question. You know, if you conk out somewhere. First of all, if it conks out during the day, this is the way I tell people. You got this size battery right here, which is 18 amp hours. This one is a 12 amp hour. This is what I've told people for years. If you have this size batteries, you'll be able to chase your grandkids around Disneyland for a good part of the day. If you have this size batteries, you should be able to chase them around all day long.
And
Now,
that's what we're doing?
you got the bigger battery.
Okay.
If you don't make it all the way around, that's going to be an indication we have battery issues.
Perfect.
Okay, what
Okay,
happens
cool,
on
thanks.
battery issues is that the range stops. Okay, two things: either this battery gauge starts going down, there's beeping. Either this battery gauge goes down, or I push on the accelerator, it's fully charged, and all of a sudden I watch those lights drop all the way down past the yellow. Then you're going to get an idea that you're going to have two things are going on. The voltage may be up there, but as soon as I put a load on, it drops down a lot.
We were at Disneyland
So
at